Men, have you ever wondered what truly captivates the heart and mind of a man? What makes him feel seen, understood, and connected on a deeper level? What in the vast sea of communication hits the right chord every single time? It's not grand gestures, not expensive gifts, not even those grand, heartfelt speeches. It's something far simpler, far more powerful than that. It's the words you use. And when you truly understand how to speak the language of the heart, your words can resonate, echo, and build a connection so strong that it's hard to break. Let's talk about the 4 texts that men love to receive from women. Now, think for a moment. When you send a message, what do you want from it? A simple reply? Maybe a smile? Or something more profound, like an emotional connection, a sense of understanding, a sense of affection that goes beyond just surface-level exchange? These 4 texts I'll share with you can do that. These are not your typical "hey" or "what's up" texts. No, these are the ones that truly hit home, that spark deeper emotions, that make a man stop, pause, and say to himself, "Wow, she gets me." These messages have the power to not just capture attention but to maintain it, to ignite feelings of passion, affection, and understanding. Imagine this. You're sitting there scrolling through your phone. You've had a busy day and your mind is elsewhere. Then you get a text. It's from her. The words in the message are simple, yet they make your chest tighten, your heartbeat race, your thoughts pause. That's the kind of effect these texts have. When women use these 4 texts, they don't just reach a man's phone, they reach his soul. Why do these particular words have such power? Why do they work so well? It's because they tap into something deeper, something ingrained in us. They evoke emotion, affection, and genuine connection. And it's these feelings that stay with us long after the screen has gone dark. The first text that every man loves to receive is one that shows interest. Not just any interest, but the kind that makes him feel like you genuinely want to know about his day, his thoughts, his feelings. This text lets him know you care enough to ask. But it's not just about the questions. It's the tone. It's the warmth in the way you ask him, "How are you doing today?" Or "What's been the highlight of your day?" These aren't generic questions. These are words that show you want to connect, to hear him, and to create space for him to be vulnerable. You see, men, for all their bravado, want to feel heard, and they want to feel like someone is truly paying attention to them. This kind of text speaks volumes. It shows that you value him, not just as a partner, but as a person. What makes this text even more impactful is the way it's framed. It's not just the question itself, but how you make him feel comfortable enough to share. It's the gentle, considerate tone you take when phrasing it. Sometimes, it's not even about the question you ask, but about the reassurance you offer him. A simple, "I've been thinking about you before asking," or "I hope your day has been amazing," can make the question feel more intimate, more heartfelt. These simple touches let him know you are deeply attuned to his feelings. And what does this do? It allows him to feel truly seen. And that's the magic. Men love being seen, not just in a superficial way, but in a way that says, "I see you for who you really are." Another text that men can't get enough of is the one that reflects genuine admiration. When a woman admires a man's qualities, his strength, his passion, his intelligence, it taps into his core. This text doesn't have to be over the top or dramatic. A simple, "I'm really impressed by how you handled that situation," or "You never cease to amaze me with your abilities," is all it takes to make a man's heart swell with pride. Men love to feel admired, and this kind of recognition from a woman tells them they are appreciated for who they are, not just what they do or what they provide. It's the perfect balance of respect and admiration. These words go deeper than compliments. They reinforce his self-esteem and confidence. Yet there's also something incredibly powerful about a text that shows your vulnerability. Men love these because it breaks down the walls of pretense and allows for true intimacy. This text might look something like, "I miss you and can't wait to see you again," or "I've been feeling a little off today, but knowing I'll get to talk to you later makes it better." Vulnerability doesn't mean weakness. Rather, it's an invitation for him to open up and connect with you on a deeper emotional level. When you share a piece of your heart, you're allowing him into a space that's usually reserved for only the closest of people. This creates a sense of trust and closeness that builds over time. But why does this vulnerability resonate with men? Men are often taught to be strong, to protect, to hold everything together. So when a woman lets her guard down and shares her emotional state with him, it allows him to feel like he's the one you trust with your true self. This in turn makes him feel special and valued. Men love the sense of being able to protect, nurture, and care for someone. And this kind of text taps into that instinct. It strengthens the bond, it builds intimacy, and it makes the relationship feel real. In a world where emotional walls can sometimes be so high, these vulnerable messages help tear them down. The fourth and final text that men absolutely love is the one that expresses appreciation and gratitude. A text like, "Thank you for always being there for me," or "I truly appreciate everything you do." Even the little things works wonders. Men love to feel valued for the things they do, and more often than not, they don't get the recognition they deserve. This kind of message shows that you don't just see him for the things he provides, but for the efforts he puts into the relationship. It's easy to take someone for granted, especially in a long-term relationship. But when you stop to express your gratitude, it makes him feel acknowledged and appreciated on a deep level. It validates his actions and lets him know that he's making a difference in your life. These four types of texts, each reflecting interest, admiration, vulnerability, and gratitude, are not just words. They are the emotional glue that holds relationships together. They invite connection, spark deeper feelings, and foster trust and intimacy. They are simple yet profound, and they carry with them the kind of energy that resonates long after the text is sent. These aren't just texts, they are messages of love, respect, and care that a man will treasure, remember, and carry in his heart. When you send these texts, you're not just communicating. You're building a connection that transcends words and creates something far more powerful. Let's take a step back and really think about what these texts mean. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, to think that relationships thrive on grand gestures, spontaneous adventures, or impressive acts of kindness. But in reality, the most meaningful connections are forged in the simplest, most sincere exchanges. When a woman sends these four types of texts, whether it's expressing interest, admiration, vulnerability, or gratitude, she's doing something far more powerful than just typing a few words. She's nurturing the emotional bond that sustains a relationship, fostering intimacy, and making him feel valued and loved in a way that is authentic and genuine. This is where the magic happens. In a world full of distractions, where both men and women are often overwhelmed by external pressures, these texts become moments of grounding. They cut through the noise and bring the focus back to what truly matters: connection. It's not about impressing him with your knowledge of the latest trends or dazzling him with your ability to navigate complex conversations. No, it's about speaking directly to his heart, showing that you see him for who he really is, that you understand his struggles, his strengths, his quirks. When a woman uses these texts, she's telling him, "I know you, I appreciate you, and I'm here for you." And that's something that no man can resist. Think about the impact of a text that acknowledges his efforts, big or small. In a society where men are often expected to be the ones doing the pursuing, the protecting, the providing, receiving genuine appreciation can be a rare and profound experience. Many men spend their days working hard, pushing through challenges, and being there for others. Yet in the hustle of life, their efforts often go unnoticed. That's why a text that recognizes these efforts is so powerful. It makes him feel like his hard work, his dedication, and his commitment haven't gone unnoticed. It's the kind of text that tells him he's not invisible, that he matters, and that the little things he does don't go unappreciated. This isn't just about saying thank you for the big things, like taking out the trash or fixing something in the house. It's about acknowledging those subtle moments, those acts of kindness that might go under the radar if no one is paying attention. A text that says, "I appreciate the way you always make me laugh when I need it," or "the way you support me even when you're tired," is something I don't take for granted, does more than just thank him. It affirms the value he brings to your life. It reassures him that his presence, his efforts, his personality, and his love are truly seen. And this kind of acknowledgement creates a sense of emotional fulfillment that drives the relationship forward. But let's not forget that admiration doesn't just stop with the things he does. It's also about who he is. When a woman expresses admiration for his qualities, his character, and the depth of his personality, it's incredibly powerful. Men often hear praise for their achievements, but when a woman takes the time to notice his inner strength, his intelligence, his kindness, or his sense of humor, it can leave him feeling valued in a completely different way. These types of texts can serve as a reminder that he's not just someone defined by his actions, but someone who is loved for the essence of who he is. It's a text that connects the surface level with the deeper core of his being. And when it comes to vulnerability, don't underestimate the weight of those words. Men may be less likely to open up about their feelings or share the struggles that weigh on their hearts. It's in these moments of vulnerability that women have the unique ability to offer something men often don't expect: space to be human. When you send a text like, "I've been feeling a little overwhelmed, but knowing that you're here for me gives me peace," you're not just sharing a feeling, you're showing trust. You're letting him in, giving him a role to play in supporting you. Men love feeling needed, but more importantly, they want to feel like they're the safe haven where their partner can be real, raw, and unguarded. This text, simple as it may seem, is an invitation for him to step up and be the emotional support you need. It says, "I trust you enough to be honest with you," and this kind of honesty fosters the kind of closeness that can't be built through pretenses or masks. It's a moment of connection where both parties are on the same level, both navigating the ups and downs of life together. And that shared experience deepens the relationship, creating bonds that can withstand the pressures of time, distance, and external stress. There's also a certain beauty in the way that these texts evolve over time. What starts as simple, casual communication can eventually become the backbone of a strong, supportive relationship. When a man receives messages like these consistently, they build an emotional foundation that is much stronger than any physical or superficial attraction. These texts act as the quiet, steady undercurrent that keeps the relationship flowing. They create a space where love, trust, and understanding can grow naturally, without the need for constant drama or conflict. Think about it. How do you want to make him feel every time you reach out? Do you want to spark a fleeting moment of interest, or do you want to build something deeper that lasts? These 4 texts, when used with sincerity, do just that. They build something that's real, that endures. They go beyond surface-level communication and tap into what truly matters: genuine affection, emotional intimacy, and a sense of belonging. They make him feel special, valued, and connected to you in a way that's undeniable. So why do these texts work? Because they speak the language of the heart. They don't rely on cleverness or external validation. They come from a place of authenticity and understanding. They show a man that you're not just looking for someone to fill a role or meet a need. You're looking for someone with whom you can share the deepest parts of your heart. And in turn, you're inviting him to share his deepest parts with you. In relationships, it's not about what you have or what you can do together. It's about the emotional bond that sustains everything else. These 4 texts help create that bond, nurtures it, and strengthens it with every word you send. When you send one of these texts, you're not just communicating. You're saying, "I'm here, I see you, and I'm ready to connect." And trust me, that's exactly what every man wants from the woman he loves. It's not the big gestures or the flashy moments. It's the quiet, meaningful exchanges that truly leave an impact. As we continue to explore these 4 texts that men can't resist, it's important to delve into the psychology behind why they resonate so deeply. These messages tap into a man's core needs and desires, things he may not always express openly, but things that, when addressed, create a profound sense of emotional fulfillment. Men are often portrayed as tough, stoic figures, but beneath that exterior is a desire for real emotional intimacy, connection, and acknowledgement. They want to be more than just the providers or protectors. They want to be seen, appreciated, and loved for who they truly are. And these 4 texts, when used thoughtfully, do just that. When a woman reaches out with a message of interest, asking about his day, his thoughts, or how he's feeling, she is giving him something invaluable: her attention. In a world where men are constantly expected to be strong, independent, and self-sufficient, it's easy for them to feel isolated in their experiences. Often, they are the ones doing the listening, offering support, and holding everything together. So when a woman takes the time to ask him how he's doing, it communicates that she sees him as more than just a partner or a provider. She sees him as an individual with his own emotions, thoughts, and struggles. This simple yet profound act of care can have a huge impact, making him feel valued and understood. The emotional effect of this text cannot be understated. When a man feels like his partner genuinely cares about his well-being, it breaks down the walls that might exist between them. It builds trust and opens up a pathway for deeper communication. Men aren't always the best at expressing themselves, and when they feel that someone is willing to listen, it creates a sense of comfort and safety. It allows them to be vulnerable in a way that might not come naturally to them. And that vulnerability, when reciprocated, creates a cycle of mutual emotional support that strengthens the relationship. Admiration, too, plays a key role in strengthening the bond between two people. When a woman admires a man, his intelligence, his work ethic, his sense of humor, it speaks to his desire for validation. We all want to feel like we matter, like our actions and our qualities are appreciated. Men, despite their often tough exterior, are no different. They thrive on the acknowledgement of their strengths and accomplishments, particularly from someone they respect and care about. A message that simply says, "I admire your determination," or "You always know how to make me smile," can go a long way in making him feel more secure in the relationship. But admiration isn't just about recognizing what he does. It's about appreciating who he is as a person. Men are often praised for their achievements, but when a woman takes the time to recognize his character, his heart, and his soul, it hits on a deeper, more meaningful level. This type of admiration doesn't just acknowledge his actions, it celebrates his essence. And that kind of acknowledgement makes him feel truly seen and loved. Not just for what he can do, but for who he is at his core. Vulnerability in a relationship is often one of the most difficult things to navigate, especially for men. In many cultures, men are taught to hide their emotions, to put on a brave face, and to maintain control at all times. This can make it challenging for them to open up, even with those they trust the most. So when a woman reaches out with a message of vulnerability, expressing her own struggles, fears, or hopes, it sends a powerful signal that it's okay to let down the guard. It's okay to be imperfect, to be human, and to ask for support when needed. This vulnerability allows both partners to connect on a deeper emotional level. It's not about weakness, it's about strength and being open and honest. And when a man receives a message like, "I've been feeling stressed, but just knowing I have you to talk to makes it better," it doesn't just make him feel needed. It makes him feel important. It gives him the opportunity to step into the role of support, of someone who can help carry the weight, even if just by offering a listening ear or a comforting word. A key aspect of vulnerability is that it fosters trust. Trust is the bedrock of any successful relationship. And when a woman allows herself to be vulnerable, she's essentially saying, "I trust you enough to show you my true self," and trust, once established, opens the door for a more genuine, more authentic connection. It allows both partners to let go of pretenses and be real with each other, knowing that they are supported and accepted. Vulnerability also encourages empathy. When one person is willing to open up, it creates a space for the other person to do the same. It becomes a mutual exchange of understanding, care, and emotional support that strengthens the relationship over time. Now let's explore how gratitude plays into all of this. At the core of every meaningful relationship is appreciation. The simple act of saying thank you can transform a relationship, especially when it's sincere and specific. When a woman takes the time to express her gratitude for the little things, a gesture, a thoughtful act, or simply the way he makes her feel, it reinforces the emotional bond they share. It's easy to overlook the small moments, but it's these moments that often carry the most weight. Men love knowing that they are appreciated for the little things they do. It's not just about the big dramatic actions. It's about the consistent, everyday acts of care and consideration that make a relationship thrive. A message like, "Thank you for always making me feel safe and loved," or "I'm grateful for your constant support," no matter what, can make a world of difference. These texts are not just about expressing gratitude for what he does, they are about acknowledging the way he makes her feel. And that feeling of being loved, supported, and cared for is priceless. It validates his efforts and reminds him that everything he does, no matter how small, contributes to the relationship in a meaningful way. Gratitude also strengthens the relationship by reinforcing positive behavior. When a man feels appreciated for the things he does, he is more likely to continue those behaviors. It creates a positive feedback loop. The more he feels appreciated, the more he wants to show up for his partner. This kind of cycle fosters growth and development in the relationship, as both partners feel motivated to continue putting effort into making each other happy. Men are often the ones expected to take the lead in relationships, whether it's planning dates, making decisions, or taking care of practical matters. But by sending a text of gratitude, a woman shows that she recognizes the effort he puts in. This makes him feel supported and valued, not just as a partner, but as an equal. It reinforces the idea that relationships are a two-way street, built on mutual respect and appreciation. These four texts, interest, admiration, vulnerability, and gratitude, work together to create a bond that transcends the ordinary. They tap into the deep-seated needs and desires of men, addressing their emotional landscape in a way that feels real and meaningful. And the beauty of it is that these texts don't require grand gestures or complex words. They are simple, genuine expressions of care, love, and connection that make a profound impact. When you send these texts, you're doing more than just communicating. You're creating a space where love can grow, where trust can be built, and where both partners can feel truly seen and heard. These aren't just words on a screen, they are the foundation for a deeper, more fulfilling relationship. And when used consistently, these four texts can help nurture a love that lasts a lifetime. The more we understand the impact of these texts, the clearer it becomes why they hold such weight in a relationship. These messages are not just words on a screen. They are the keys to unlocking deeper emotional intimacy. They lay the foundation for trust, affection, and mutual respect, qualities that form the backbone of a long-lasting, meaningful connection. In every relationship, both partners want to feel valued and seen, but men in particular often go without verbal validation. These texts provide exactly that, offering reassurance that their worth is recognized beyond the surface level. When a woman sends a text that shows interest in his life, she is engaging him in a conversation that goes beyond small talk. She is opening up a window into his world, inviting him to share his thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Men often feel a responsibility to be the strong ones, to provide and protect, and sometimes that role can feel isolating. They may hold back their thoughts and emotions, thinking they need to maintain control. But when a woman sends a simple message like, "How was your day? I've been thinking about you," it opens the door for him to share. He doesn't have to carry the weight alone anymore. It's a subtle yet powerful invitation for him to be open, to feel safe, and to know that there's someone who genuinely wants to hear about his life. Think about the power behind this. It's not just the question itself, but the thoughtfulness behind it. It's not a "what's up" or "hey," it's a deeper question, one that reflects a real desire to understand and connect. This kind of text is validating. It says, "I want to know about you. You matter to me." And that sentiment can have a profound impact on a man's emotional state. It nurtures his sense of importance, making him feel like he isn't just a partner in a relationship, but an individual with feelings, dreams, and struggles that deserve attention. Admiration is another key component. Men are often motivated by recognition, particularly when it comes from someone they care about deeply. When a woman admires his qualities, whether it's his sense of humor, his work ethic, or his ability to make others feel at ease, she's fueling his self-esteem and reinforcing the qualities he takes pride in. These texts aren't just flattering, they help him see himself in a positive light. When a man receives a text that acknowledges his strengths, it boosts his confidence and strengthens the emotional bond between the two of you. A text like, "I love how you always know what to say to make me feel better," or "the way you handled that difficult situation was incredible," speaks directly to his heart. These aren't surface-level compliments, they get to the heart of who he is as a person. They remind him of the qualities that make him unique and valuable in the relationship. Men may not always vocalize it, but they want to feel like they are seen for who they are, beyond what they provide, beyond what they can do. They want to know that the person they love sees them for the entirety of their being. This kind of admiration builds emotional intimacy. It allows him to feel safe in expressing who he really is without fear of judgment, and that safety is essential for a healthy, thriving relationship. The more admiration is shared, the deeper the emotional connection becomes. Men thrive on respect, and when admiration is communicated regularly, it strengthens the foundation of the relationship and nurtures a deeper bond that lasts. Vulnerability is equally as important, though it may seem like a challenge for many. Society often teaches men that vulnerability is a weakness, that they must always be strong, tough, and resilient. Yet vulnerability is actually a form of strength, and when a woman shares her vulnerability with a man, it invites him to do the same. It creates an emotional balance in the relationship, where both partners can feel safe enough to show their true selves without fear of rejection. When a woman sends a message expressing her vulnerability, like, "I've had a tough day, and I really need your support," or "I'm feeling a little overwhelmed," but just hearing from you makes me feel better. It creates an opening for emotional closeness. It's an invitation to be real, to be human. And in those moments when a man is able to offer his support or just be there for her, it strengthens the emotional connection between the two of them. This vulnerability isn't about seeking sympathy, it's about showing trust. When a woman expresses her struggles, fears, or concerns, it sends a message that she feels safe with him, that she trusts him enough to let down her walls. This act of trust is incredibly powerful. It shows him that he is not only a partner, but also a confidant, someone who plays an essential role in her emotional life. And that trust, built on shared vulnerability, forms a deeper, more genuine connection that is impossible to replicate through superficial communication. Men are not only hardwired to protect and provide, but they also have an innate desire to be needed. Vulnerability allows a woman to express her need for him, whether it's emotional support, a listening ear, or simply comfort in a tough time. This gives him an active role in the relationship, making him feel important, valued, and integral to her happiness and well-being. These moments, although simple, help cement the emotional foundation of the relationship and create a space where both partners can be authentic. Finally, the power of gratitude cannot be overstated. When a woman expresses genuine thanks for the little things her partner does, it communicates something deeply meaningful, appreciation for the effort he puts into the relationship. Gratitude is a powerful emotional tool because it affirms that the other person's actions are valued. Men often go through life taking on the role of caretaker or protector, and sometimes they feel like their contributions go unnoticed. That's why a message like, "I love how you always know how to cheer me up," or "Thank you for being my rock. I don't know what I'd do without you," is so impactful. This type of text reinforces his sense of worth in the relationship. It shows him that he's appreciated for his effort, his attention, and his love. In a world where it's easy to overlook the small details, gratitude highlights the importance of those everyday acts that contribute to the success of the relationship. It's not about grand gestures, it's about recognizing the little things that make all the difference. And when a man receives this kind of acknowledgement, it encourages him to continue putting in that effort, knowing that his contributions are meaningful. When gratitude is expressed consistently, it builds an atmosphere of positivity and encouragement. It creates an emotional environment where both partners feel valued, heard, and supported. It fosters a sense of mutual respect and reinforces the emotional bond between them. Men, just like women, want to feel like their efforts are appreciated, and when that appreciation is communicated, it motivates them to keep investing in the relationship. These 4 types of texts, interest, admiration, vulnerability, and gratitude, are not just tools for communication. They are the foundation of a strong, healthy relationship. They address the core emotional needs that men have and create a space where love, trust, and respect can flourish. By sending these messages, a woman is offering her partner more than just words. She is offering a deeper connection, a relationship built on authenticity and emotional intimacy. It's these texts that form the foundation for lasting love and create a bond that is difficult to break. As we continue to examine the profound impact of these 4 types of texts, it's important to understand how these messages evolve and how their power grows over time. In the early stages of a relationship, these texts may feel like simple gestures of affection, but as the relationship deepens, they become the building blocks of emotional intimacy. The more you use these messages, the stronger the connection between you and your partner becomes. These texts aren't just words, they're signals that communicate trust, care, and respect. They speak directly to a man's emotional needs and allow both partners to feel seen and heard in a way that transcends superficial interactions. At the core of these texts is the desire to nurture a genuine connection. When a woman expresses interest in a man's life, asking him about his day, his thoughts, or his feelings, it's more than just a casual check-in. It's an invitation to connect on a deeper level. Men often experience life on a more internalized level, focusing on their tasks, responsibilities, and goals. But when a woman sends a text that shows she is paying attention to him, it breaks down that internal wall. It allows him to share his thoughts and feelings in a way that might not have occurred naturally. Consider how this plays out over time. In a relationship, the moments of connection are often fleeting. We get busy with our own lives, and sometimes it feels like we're just going through the motions. But when a woman takes the time to send a thoughtful text asking how he's doing or checking in on his well-being, it reminds him that he matters. It pulls him out of the monotony of his daily routine and reminds him that someone is paying attention to his needs. It doesn't take much, just a simple message to say, "How are you feeling today?" or "I've been thinking about you," can make him feel cared for and emotionally supported. This constant exchange of interest reinforces the bond between partners. Over time, it cultivates an environment where both people feel safe to open up and be vulnerable. As men often struggle with expressing their emotions, receiving this kind of genuine interest can create a ripple effect that encourages them to be more communicative and open in the relationship. It also provides an opportunity for deeper conversations that go beyond surface-level interactions. It's not just about asking, "What did you do today?" It's about inviting him to talk about how he feels, what's going on in his mind, and what's weighing on his heart. And when a woman listens with empathy, it fosters a space where emotional intimacy can thrive. Admiration also evolves over time. At first, it might seem like a simple compliment, but as the relationship grows, the admiration becomes more meaningful. It's not just about praising his accomplishments, but about recognizing the qualities that make him who he is. Men, like all people, want to feel appreciated for who they are, not just what they can do. When a woman expresses admiration for his strength, his kindness, his intelligence, or his humor, it taps into something deeper. It validates the parts of him that might not always be visible to others. This type of admiration fosters a sense of pride in the relationship. A man will feel proud to be with someone who sees his true worth, not just the surface-level attributes that others may recognize. These compliments go beyond physical appearance or surface achievements. They speak to the depth of his character. A simple text saying, "You're amazing at how you handle challenges," or "I love how you always know how to make me laugh," can leave him feeling validated in ways that words cannot fully capture. It shows him that he is more than just a partner in a relationship. He is someone who is admired for who he is at his core. This kind of admiration isn't just a feel-good moment. It has a lasting impact. When men feel admired for their character and qualities, it boosts their self-esteem and encourages them to continue being the person they are. It fosters an environment where both partners can grow and evolve together, supporting each other along the way. The more admiration is shared, the more the relationship thrives, and the deeper the emotional bond becomes. Vulnerability, too, is an ongoing process. It's not something that happens in a single moment. It's a gradual unfolding. When a woman shares her vulnerabilities with a man, it opens the door for him to do the same. In a relationship, vulnerability is not about weakness. It's about honesty and trust. It's about showing each other the parts of ourselves that we might not want to reveal to the outside world. And when a man receives a message from his partner that expresses vulnerability, whether it's about a personal struggle or a feeling of overwhelm, it creates an opportunity for emotional closeness. This act of sharing vulnerability doesn't just create emotional intimacy, it also encourages empathy. When a woman opens up about her feelings, it invites him to understand her on a deeper level. It gives him insight into her emotional world, and when he responds with care and understanding, it strengthens the relationship. Vulnerability builds a connection that is more authentic and real. It allows both partners to show their true selves without fear of judgment, knowing that they will be accepted and loved no matter what. Over time, vulnerability creates a safe space for both partners to explore their emotions and fears together. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. And when a man feels like he can be vulnerable with his partner, it strengthens the emotional foundation of the relationship. This shared vulnerability nurtures trust and deepens the bond between partners. It becomes a key aspect of the emotional intimacy that is essential for a lasting, fulfilling connection. Gratitude is another element that evolves and strengthens with time. At first, a simple thank you for a thoughtful gesture may seem like a small thing, but as the relationship deepens, gratitude becomes a powerful tool for emotional connection. Men thrive on appreciation, and when they feel like their efforts are valued, it motivates them to continue investing in the relationship. But gratitude isn't just about thanking him for what he does. It's about acknowledging the impact he has on your life. A text like, "I'm so grateful for how you always make me feel loved," or "Thank you for being my partner in everything," reinforces the importance of the relationship. It shows him that his presence in your life isn't taken for granted. Gratitude strengthens the bond by reaffirming the emotional connection and encouraging both partners to continue nurturing the relationship. The more gratitude is shared, the more both partners feel valued and loved. As the relationship progresses, these four texts, interest, admiration, vulnerability, and gratitude, become more than just tools of communication. They become the emotional glue that holds the relationship together. They nurture the connection, create trust, and encourage both partners to be authentic and real with each other. These texts evolve from simple gestures to powerful expressions of love and care. And in doing so, they transform a relationship from one based on superficial interactions to one rooted in deep emotional intimacy. The beauty of these texts is their simplicity. They don't require grand declarations or elaborate plans. They are just honest, heartfelt messages that reflect the deep emotional connection between two people. They may start as small exchanges, but over time, they grow into the foundation of a lasting, fulfilling relationship. As we conclude this exploration into the power of these four texts, it's essential to understand that the impact of these messages goes far beyond the immediate gratification they may provide. These texts are tools for cultivating a deeper, more meaningful relationship. They create an emotional resonance that can last a lifetime, strengthening the bond between partners in ways that words alone cannot fully describe. They offer men something that many don't often receive: the affirmation of their worth, the validation of their emotions, and the recognition of their true selves. These texts act as emotional anchors in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming and isolating. Men are often conditioned to suppress their emotions, to act as if they don't need support or care. But when a woman reaches out with these messages, she is telling him that it's okay to be vulnerable, to share his feelings, and to lean into emotional intimacy. It's a quiet yet powerful rebellion against the societal norms that tell men to hide their emotions and carry their burdens alone. These texts allow him to feel safe enough to break down those walls and open up to the woman who cares for him. In a relationship, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day routine. We forget to appreciate each other, to check in with one another, and to express gratitude for the love we share. Yet the emotional health of a relationship depends on these small but powerful moments. Men love these four texts, not only because they make them feel appreciated, but because they offer them a chance to be vulnerable and to connect in a way that feels real and lasting. The simple act of asking how they're doing, offering words of admiration, sharing vulnerability, or expressing gratitude creates a dynamic where both partners feel valued, heard, and seen. Think about the relationships that have stood the test of time. The ones where both people feel supported, loved, and accepted for who they are. At the heart of these relationships is communication, but not just any communication. It's the communication that speaks to the heart. It's the messages that go beyond the surface and acknowledge the complexity of human emotions. Men, like women, want to feel like they matter. They want to feel like their efforts and their character are appreciated. And these four texts do exactly that. They remind him that he is cherished, not just for what he can do, but for who he is. These texts also serve as an antidote to the modern-day challenge of feeling disconnected, even when you're physically together. The world has changed dramatically, and many couples find themselves distracted by external pressures: work, social media, family obligations, and in doing so, they may lose sight of the emotional connection they once had. However, these four texts allow partners to stay emotionally attuned to one another, to create moments of reflection, and to keep the spark of their relationship alive even in the midst of life's chaos. When a man receives a message of genuine interest, he doesn't just feel cared for in the moment. He feels like he's a priority, like he is important enough to warrant her attention. It may sound simple, but in a world where distractions are endless and time feels limited, this kind of attention can be deeply impactful. It's a reminder that he matters, and that his well-being is important to her. A simple act of asking about his day, his thoughts, or his feelings fosters emotional connection and shows him that he's not just a passing thought. He's a constant, someone who deserves to be checked in on, someone who deserves care and concern. Admiration takes on a similarly powerful role. Men may not always admit it, but they are motivated by the recognition of their qualities. They want to know that they are valued, not just for what they do for others, but for who they are as people. And a woman admires him, not just for his accomplishments, but for the person he is. It deepens the connection between them. These messages allow him to feel recognized, validated, and proud of his character. Men thrive on being seen for their depth and uniqueness. And when that is reflected back to them in a genuine way, it encourages them to continue being the person who embodies those qualities. Vulnerability, as discussed, is another transformative tool. It breaks down walls and opens up a dialogue that fosters understanding and emotional intimacy. When a woman shows vulnerability, by sharing her struggles, her hopes, or even her fears, it creates a space for him to do the same. It tells him that it's okay to not have all the answers, that it's okay to lean on each other. These moments of shared vulnerability can turn an average conversation into one that strengthens the relationship and builds a solid foundation of trust. Lastly, gratitude is the glue that holds everything together. In the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to overlook the small things that make the relationship special. But expressing gratitude, even for the tiniest gestures like his smile, his patience, or the way he supports her, reminds both partners of the reasons they fell in love in the first place. Gratitude fosters positivity and encourages both people to put more effort into maintaining the relationship. It helps them avoid complacency, ensuring that the relationship remains fresh, alive, and vibrant. When you send these 4 texts, you are doing more than just communicating. You are weaving a tapestry of emotional connection that enriches both your life and your partner. These messages speak to the deepest parts of the human experience. Our need for love, validation, support, and appreciation. And in doing so, they create a bond that is built on emotional intimacy and mutual respect. So, the next time you think about sending a text to the man in your life, remember the power that lies in these 4 simple messages: interest, admiration, vulnerability, gratitude. Each one has the ability to change the course of your relationship, bringing you closer together, fostering trust, and allowing love to flourish. These aren't just texts. They are the foundation of a strong, enduring relationship, and with them, you can nurture a love that grows deeper with each passing day.